Members of the Senate! Why is this my fate? I am obliged to record that, for 20 years past, our country has never had an enemy who has not simultaneously made himself an enemy of mine as well. I need mention no names. You remember the men for yourselves. They have paid me graver penalties than I could have wished. Antony, you are modeling your actions on theirs. So what happened to them ought to frighten you. I am amazed that it does not. When those others were against me as well as against Rome, I was less surprised, for they did not seek me out as an enemy. No, it was I who, for patriotic reasons, took the initiative against every one of them. But you I have never injured, even in words. And yet, without provocation, you have assailed me with gross insults. Catiline himself could not have been so outrageous, nor Publius Clodius so hysterical. Evidently, you felt that the way to make friends in disreputable circles was by breaking off relations with me. Did you take this step in a spirit of contempt? I should not have thought that my life and my reputation and my qualities, such as they are, provide suitable material for Antony's contempt. Nor can he have believed, surely, that he could successfully disparage me before the Senate. Accustomed though it is to complimenting distinguished Romans for good service to the state, the Senate has praised only one man for actually rescuing it from annihilation, and that is myself. But perhaps Antony's ambition was to compete with me as a speaker. If so, how extremely generous of him to present me with such a subject. Justification of myself, criticism of him, the richest and most promising theme imaginable. No, the truth is clearly this. He saw no chance of proving to people like himself that he was Rome's enemy unless he became mine too. That was Cicero in his speech, his second Philippic against Antony. Antony was a fella he didn't like a whole lot. And you can find that in a bunch of other cool Cicero writings. In Cicero Collected Works, published by Penguin Classics. Yes! Hello, my friends, hello! And welcome once again to the distinguished Vaughan Manor, where we are talking about something extra classy today. This is Cicero Selected Works, your Sunday Penguin for today. Cicero was an interesting guy. One of the most famous ancient Romans of all time. One of the most famous voices from the ancient world was Cicero. Cicero wrote an awful lot that has survived. Cicero, who lived 106 through 46 BC, he was the consul, one of the consuls to Rome in the year 63 BC. And he alluded to the fact that he sniffed out and overcame the Catiline conspiracy, which was a conspiracy against Rome. These disgruntled guys wanted to overthrow the government, which would help get them out of debt. And he found out about it, and he took care of it, our man Cicero did when he was consul. He had them all executed, actually. Now, this was a controversial decision. It did come back to haunt our pal Cicero. One of the people that spoke out against it was a younger fella, Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was like, conspiring against Rome, trying to take over the Roman Republic, that's pretty bad. I would never do anything like that. No, I wouldn't. No, not me. But maybe don't kill them. Just make them prisoners or something. Yeah, but don't kill these guys for trying to take over, and conquer the Roman Republic. Not that I would ever do that. No, not me, Caesar. No way. But Cicero wasn't having it, and he had enough pull in the Senate at this time that he had all these guys killed. And like I said, this did come back to haunt him. Cicero was a fascinating guy. He was a new man in Rome. That is, he didn't have any relatives that were consuls or famous senators before him. So he had an uphill battle to become a famous senator and to reach the lofty heights as a consul. But this guy was smart, and he is one of the greatest orators that the world has ever seen. This guy was a lawyer, he was a philosopher, he was a great writer, wrote tons of letters, he wrote a bunch of stuff, some of which you could find in this book. And he also became involved in one of the most dramatic periods in history. And you can just tell that from the names of the people that he associated with. Julius Caesar, Mark Antony, Cato the Younger, a bunch of people, Brutus. I mean, this guy was involved in the unfortunate fall of the Roman Republic. He was there every step of the way, from when the civil wars first started to the very end when the Roman Republic fell. Now, Cicero is famous for being pretty full of himself, which he was. He had a high opinion of himself, and yet at the same time, he was a very intelligent, very emotional and sensitive man. And he was a keen observer of the world that he lived in. And fortunately, most of his, well, maybe not most, but many of his letters have survived. Most of his letters, I believe, were to his best friend Atticus, who was wise enough to stay out of politics, which is why Atticus survived and why a lot of this guy's letters to Atticus survived. But in those letters, he tells you all about his life, his personal feelings, everything that was going on in the Roman Republic, and there was a lot going on at this time. And you get a really interesting first-hand account of what was going on in the Roman world at this time. And like I said, these were some of the most dramatic events that ever happened anywhere in the ancient world. This stuff is fascinating. So you get some of his letters in this book. You also, the correspondence goes to about here. And then you get the Philippic against Antony, which was one of his many speeches against Antony, which helped to get him killed, actually, when Antony became more powerful. You've got other things that he wrote, a practical code of behavior. You have on duties. You have on old age, about getting older. Just a bunch of really interesting, fascinating stuff in this book. Cicero, of course, is known for his wonderful Latin. His writing was incredibly influential all throughout history. But it's also very personal. This guy comes off as a real, genuine human being. You feel like you know this guy because he lets so much of his own personality out in his writing, especially his letters. Now, you can also get a Penguin volume of selected letters that is also available. I highly recommend anything this guy wrote, particularly his letters. Cicero was fascinating. So yeah, I cannot recommend this wonderful book highly enough. My man Cicero in Cicero's Selected Works. It is my Sunday Penguin for the day. Catch me tomorrow when we talk about something very different with Mythos Monday. And then we continue on our dangerous journey through all of my books on Wednesday with the books that time forgot. Thanks, my friends, and I will catch you next time.